Hey everyone, it is the Angry Honey Badger here, and it is time for the LCS Weekly, which means joining me is Ranger. How you doing?
Fantastic. I am excited. Playoffs time is always the best time.
I agree. Playoffs
Oh.
is fun for one big reason is because of best of fives. I like seeing teams in best of fives.
Yep. Best fives change everything. Because you see teams react to each other's strategies, change things, pull out curveballs when they don't. I've never done that before, just to throw people off of a five game. So it's really cool. It's really
Yeah,
fun.
you can. I mean,
And
you,
people
you
cry.
can have one bad game with a bad comp, and you can't fix that because you were in a best of one. But in a best of five, you can fix this. You can ban out their champions they were strong on. You can jump back in, clean start, and turn games around, turn series around. So it's very cool.
Yeah.
So, we did not talk about the quarterfinals last week because there was no episode last week. So, we will brush past them.
We will. So we'll just start off right away. EU first game was H2K versus Copenhagen Wolves. H2K much stronger team. Copenhagen Wolves put up very little resistance to them, in my opinion, and H2K won 3-0 very convincingly. And then the next one was Unicorns of Love versus Gambit. The one Gambit won one, and it wasn't fluid. Gambit doesn't win anymore in an effective way, like when they had Alex Ich and Diamond. Where they just like really powerhouse won. You could tell it was gonna be a win. Gambit, when they win, I still thought they could have lost the game somewhere. Like
It's classic. That's classic Gambit. That's how it kind of looks. It's like they're winning, but can they actually win it? But they're
can they finish it? Yeah. Are they feeding to win, or are they just losing? Oh, they're just losing. Okay. But yeah, so Unicorns won, and I would like to apologize to the Unicorns that loves fans. I said that they were a gimmick team, and they are, but they have a lot of gimmicks.
The gimmicks run deep.
It's not a one-trick pony. There are many tricks in this bag, and they threw them out haphazardly. So we'll get on that later. But yeah, anyway. So Unicorns of Love went through, and H2K went through to play SK Gaming and Fnatic. I just want to say Fantatic.
Fantatic.
Yeah, Fnatic. Fantatics.
Yeah, so that was the quarterfinals over in Europe. Over in the NA the quarterfinals started off with CLG versus Team Liquid. Team Liquid swept the series. This is classic Team Liquid
Aftermove
curse.
could not contain Piglet.
No, not at
It
all.
wasn't even Piglet show.
Phoenix show.
Phoenix
Quash
show. Yeah. Piglet didn't do anything bad, but he wasn't. When Piglet joined the team, I thought it was gonna be the Piglet show. I thought it was gonna be 100% Piglet, and Liquid is a strong team with Piglet. That's what it is. It's not a team with Piglet. It's a strong team with Piglet. So It's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
This is the first time Phoenix has kind of broken out of his shell.
And he did it commandingly.
And the other nice thing too is Quas not fully stepping up, but showing some individual great play. And I think I said this in the one where we talked about going into these matches. This organization doesn't lose to CLG. They just don't. So I'm not surprised by the sweep, to be honest. Like a little bit because like there was some good play, but they haven't beat them in the last 8 games.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. So, and then we had Team Impulse going up against Gravity. Gravity did pull one game in the series. Gravity is one of those scrappy teams where you think they can do it, but right now just Impulse on a tear when it comes to games. Yeah. And Rush single-handedly carrying matches. The dude is good.
The dude is good. And this was Rush's first time playing a best of 5.
Correct. Never done that before.
And it's a different experience because it's not just you play one game and you get to relax, sit back and go, I was a beast. You get to be a beast 3 games in a row if the rest of your team is winning. We'll get on to another player that played like a beast and still lost.
Yes.
But yeah, it was really good. Rush played really well, really smart player, and I was happy with Team Impulse. So.
And that takes us then, because those teams would then play Cloud9 and TSM. So that leads us up to the semifinals. So let's throw that over to Europe.
Yeah. Okay. So in Europe, the first match was Fnatic versus H2K, and Fnatic was able to win 3-2. I felt like Fnatic was always a stronger team. But game 1, Huni got shut down. Just stomped out. Reignover wasn't able to do anything, and it was really, really sketchy for Fnatic. But then okay, so Huni was in love with Lee Sin top lane, and I do not think it paid off at all. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just face palming. The Huni Lee Sin pick top multiple games made me sad so much. I know they won with it, but oh man,
Smite.
So bad.
It was not working. And Reignover on Nunu, I think, is a waste of Reignover.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I agree.
Anyway, so they were down 2-0, right? They were down.
No, it was
1-1.
1-1, 2-1, and then they won 2.
Okay, yeah. So game 4, Reignover plays Rek'Sai.
Oh my god!
Everyone just it. I mean, for Bevan ended the game with the better record, but it was Rek'Sai 100% the whole way.
Oh yeah.
It was just ridiculous. And then they gave it to him another time in game 5. They challenged him to do it again, and he one-upped his last game.
Yeah.
I do not think Fnatic will get Rek'Sai in the finals. I do not think this will happen. So that was the game. It was a really good job. HGK did really. It was impressive. They tried really hard, but Reignover denied that really hard.
I feel like individual play from Fnatic totally got them to a position, obviously, to win, which you just talked about. I think H2K choked a little bit because they are a good team. They've shown that they've gotten better and stronger over time. They don't do anything too fancy. They play by the books, and it gets them wins, but when they needed it seemed like they choked a little bit. And so Fnatic came out on top. I will say, overall, until the last couple games, Huni was unimpressive, and he's been impressive all split. So that was so I was watching this early, and I was like, wow, Huni's not doing much. There were really just the first few games, none of them were doing anything. So I was really prepared for Fnatic to lose the series, and I was really wishy-washy on who I actually wanted to win the series because I like Fnatic as an organization. I do, and I wanted them to win. But after watching H2K play good games and just playing smart league play, like if you just watch a just generic team on how you should play, nothing fancy, no tricks, no gimmicks, H2K is actually a good team to watch for that. And I was like, well, if H2K wins this, I can't say they're not deserving. They play the game smart. But they choked, and Fnatic won, and after some stepping up and some tweaking adjustments in the pick and ban phase, Fnatic pulled it together, and I was impressed with it, how they actually were able to then flip it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that, and that's okay, I can take some heat. I think Kasing is the best support player.
He's really good.
If you are a support player, watch these 5 games. There's a couple games he got shut down, but game 1, when he's playing Annie, was why they won. He was just going crazy with his roaming. Moby's really quick, roaming, you're hitting that mid lane, you're going places, but you never leave your ADC by themselves pushed. The only time you can leave is when your ADC goes to shop, and that's when you should roam as a support. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
But amazing job with Kasing in all the games.
I'm gonna bring up one other player in a second then.
Okay. But yeah, Kasing, great player. I'm sorry that he didn't go through, but I think he's the best support player in EU right now.
The player I want to bring up is part of the next matchup.
Oh yeah, no, you knew I was going to talk about him.
Are you going to talk about who I think?
The backpack. He has a backpack big enough for the rest of his team.
Oh no.
I'm talking about Svenskeren.
No, amazing play, but not that.
Versus Unicorns of Love. Okay, so game 1 went to Unicorns of Love. That wasn't surprising. Then SK won, SK lost, and all of a sudden you have this SK being down against a team that's known for gimmicks. You have 2 games to give a team that has tricks. This is a very bad position for SK to be in. Mm-hmm. SK Gaming wins the 4th game because of Svenskeren's Lee Sin. Oh my God. It was ridiculous. This man he insect. It's now called the Svenskeren. So if you're gonna play Lee Sin, it's called the Svenskeren, whatever you want to call it. You can call it a Sven or a Svenskeren. It's fine. Then comes game 5. SK Gaming is known for never giving up leads. They will be behind. That's cool. They will catch up. They will play smart. They will win. That's SK Gaming. SK Gaming is ahead 3 dragons, 4,000 gold, map control, and does a Baron. It's not a bad Baron call. It's fine. Power of Evil is playing Orianna and just throws his ball out and casts his ultimate and steals Baron.
Yep.
This doesn't change the game. What it does is it lets Unicorns of Love stay in the game. If SK got that Baron, the game was over. They could not have stopped him on a push, but all of a sudden they have to play a little bit smarter and allowing the Gnar jungle to hit where he needed to be.
Yeah.
Unicorns of Love were playing Gnar jungle, which I don't recommend trying. Understand that it's not good by itself. It fits a specific role. Anyway, so you have Maokai, Gnar, with an Orianna behind it, and a Caitlyn that you will never touch. Yep. You will never touch this man. Like, if Caitlyn dies, it's because the other 4 people have been massacred. So, even though Svenskeren was playing on a god level, all 5, they could not finish off Unicorns of Love. They wanted it so bad, and SK just could not find an opening. And they picked Zed. And this is the problem with Zed. He has to split push. Because once the enemy ADC picks up a QSS, who do you ultimate? You're not going to ultimate a tank. So you need to split push, force one of them to come after you, and you can usually beat anyone one-on-one with Zed. And it just wasn't happening. He was getting shut down by Maokai. He was getting shut down by Gnar. It was the best game of the week, in my opinion. The game 5.
I think apart, though, from just the Baron steal, which was a huge deciding factor, obviously, Unicorns played smart in that game, though, because from the time of that Baron to their previously taken turret, it was a lot of time in between. They held on to their second row of turrets very, very well because they knew they needed to hit power spikes later in the game, and they had to extend the length of game to get to a point where they could fight much better since they were behind. And I think they executed that incredibly well. The Baron steal was icing on the cake because, like you said, SK had to hold back, and what that did was it let them push and get a little bit of gold that they needed to get things just a little bit closer, extend the game, and they did it exactly right. And without the Baron steal, like you said, yeah, they probably could not have stopped that push. That would have resulted in more turrets, which would have extended the lead. They may not have been able to finish off of just that Baron, but that would have gave them that massive chunk of gold that would have put SK just too far out of reach. So I think Unicorns played a smart game from behind, which is not always an easy thing to do.
Well, I left. I had somewhere to go. And I was watching SK do Baron. And I was like, oh, they got Baron. It's cool. It's over. So I closed the game out. I come back like 5 hours later. And I was like, so SK finished the game off, right? And he's like, you should. My brother's like, you should watch the game. And I was like, why? And he's like, just watch the game. And I'm sitting, I go to the Baron, I see it stolen, and I'm like, okay, there's still 3K. There's no way. And I'm watching this game for the next 20 minutes as I'm just mortified by a team out late gating SK Gaming.
Yeah.
If SK, in my opinion, if SK Gaming goes internationally and plays someone, they're not going to lose because they lose the end game. They're going to lose because they're going to get pressured early. Yeah. And for some reason, N-Rated likes to do really dumb shit early game. Yeah. He got hooked into tower multiple times.
Yeah.
At this level, in the playoffs, back the fuck away from a tower, please.
My comment to you was, you mentioned your support. I was going to mention Hylissang.
Hylissang was really good.
He made plays happen in a lane that had been dominant in the EU. I know what you're saying about N-Rated, but just in general, he's also shown some good promise, in my opinion, as a support.
No, I agree with you. But I would like to see if anyone knows if this is right or not. Forgiven got the most CS out of any game in this game, game 5. He got over like 500 CS.
And you mean in the series?
No, in the split.
Oh,
I don't think anyone's broken 550.
This split, okay. I don't know.
Forgiven, great ADC, but Corki, Rek'Sai, and Zed all top off.
Yeah, that was the other one. That's the other big issue.
They had Caitlyn, who wants to get to 6 items.
Yep.
She's like Sivir. They're trying to get there. Maokai, who
Only
he
gets
just
tankier.
becomes unkillable.
Yeah.
He just becomes unkillable, and his ultimate is annoyed as crap. And then you have Oriana, who is the late game AP mage. Minus B.
Is anybody else better than her with 6 items?
As an AP mid?
Yeah.
No, there's no way. I mean,
depending on the enemy team against a Karthus, but other than that.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Karthus and Cassiopeia might
yeah.
be able to rival the damage.
Yeah.
But the fact that an Oriana ultimate hitting someone.
Yeah. Or
hitting 2 or 3 people on the team just ends the fight. It's over. It is over. There was one ultimate that Power of Evil hit on. Fox hit on Fox by Dragon. That didn't look like a good ultimate, but it made it so Zed was so chunked he wasn't able to ever get to Caitlyn.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Freddy was trying his damnedest to stick on Caitlyn.
Yeah.
But when there is an Annie, an Oriana, a Maokai, and a Gnar,
you're not going anywhere.
Either they're gonna peel for you or they're gonna kill your backline before you can.
Yep.
So Freddy again, great job. I love the Shyvana with Smite. It needs to be changed. Top lane should not get Smite.
So strong.
But it was really good. But yeah, it was a great series. I know we talked way too long on this one, but it was a beautiful series.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, but that was EU. So we have Unicorns of Love versus Fnatic. Would not have said that. I would have said SK versus Fnatic because Unicorns beating SK was ridiculous.
It's the first time a #1 seed hasn't gone to the finals.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, surprise.
Yeah.
And then we have SK Gaming versus H2K for 3rd and 4th place. Now, what's important about these games is the championship points that you're going to get.
Yeah.
Before it was in the fall, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd all got to go over to Worlds. Now it's championship points. So you get a certain amount of points for taking 1st, 2nd, 3rd. So you might not get to go just because you don't have enough points. You might have done really good one instance, but that's not what makes a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like Mario Kart. For each place that you get more points, and at the end, whoever has the most points goes.
Yep.
So, Korea has been doing that. We have not over in EU and NA, but we are now.
We just try to take whoever's the strongest at the current point.
Yeah, which has
worked incredibly well.
Yeah, because North America and EU are really good at winning worlds when other teams are competing.
Really good at beating foreign teams.
Yeah, okay. I know Fnatic won a championship. It was the first one.
No, the Koreans weren't playing.
When you introduce the Asian persuasion, things change.
Exactly.
So, all right, but that brings us to NA.
Yep.
Nah, man, nah.
Yeah, that takes us over to NA.
Was so good.
What?
NA was so good.
Yes. So over in the NA LCS, the first match was Cloud9 versus Team Liquid, and in Game 1, Team Liquid showed up, played some legitimate League of Legends.
Oh, goodness.
And won themselves a game against a team they've only ever beaten once.
Piglet on Lucian is terrifying.
Oh my god, his aggression and damage output in split-second decision moments when enemy supports don't react to it. Oh my god.
I mean, Lemonation was playing Morgana and could not protect Sneaky from the pain that Lucian was bringing against him.
No.
It
did result in a little bit of over-aggression at one point, but it was too late.
He was just having fun after that. It was like when your team's so far ahead, you go, okay, let's group. Like, oh, okay. One
other thing I will say, I know Sneaky is really good on Draven, but it's just such a gamble of a pick.
I think it was. Now, okay, they were sandbagging it. It sounds like, of course, you're gonna say that if you do better later, but to pick Draven first is really feeling your opponent.
I think they were. I think it was partially that, and I think they were partially cocky. I think
that too. That would not surprise me.
So just with all of that, first game went to Liquid, and that was a good start for them because then into Game 2, same thing. They came out strong. They came out with good picks again. They showed a different composition. Liquid showing that they can play multiple compositions, which is important in best of fives for sure. A lot of the other teams do that too, or they change their pick and ban strategy to just either help them more or just deny the enemy team that they're playing against. So whether or not you want to change your whole strat and your whole comp doesn't really matter. if you don't need to, if you can just make it so the enemy team can't pick anything that works for them. You can run the same thing then. But game 2 came down to Phoenix just showing some crazy play.
Do you know he can play Azir that well?
Holy
I did not know.
Yeah, no, I knew he was a good Azir. He showed promise too earlier in the split. I think in like week 6 when he played someone, he had a couple good games, or he had a good game on it. I mean, people knew that he was one of the few Azirs over in NA. I think that's more of a pocket pick. I think he also plays it the most in solo queue. So, he showed up.
He did. I think the moment you knew Cloud9 was screwed was when they ganked Phoenix mid. And Sejuani ultimates, Lissandra ultimates, they snare him, and he walks his happy ass out.
Yeah.
Just walks it. He was not scared. He had dashes up. He was so calm on Azir. It never seemed like he was panicking. That's how you have to play Azir. You have to be ahead of your opponent mentally the whole way. And that's what Phoenix was. He was so far ahead of Cloud9 that anytime Cloud9 tried to do something, he's like, no, I saw that coming. Don't worry about it. Dash over here, ultimate over here. I'll poke you over here. Oh, back up. It was like playing chess. He was so far ahead of them. And then it didn't help that Quas, I mean, I don't know of a better term, but was just throat punching the crap out of top lane the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm going to use throat punch because the other words are much more vulgar that I want to use. But he was destroying the crap with Hecarim. And everyone knows Hecarim in solo queue. Once you get that horse rolling, it never stops.
Yeah, he keeps on galloping.
So, yeah, that was game 2. So Cloud9 down 2-0.
Yeah.
Against a team that has only beaten them once.
And so now they've increased their win rate by 300% or 200%.
That's good math.
Thank you. Anyways, then we had game 3.
Yes.
Which Cloud9 has to win. Has to win. And they do. Now, when it comes to composition for Team Liquid, they get everything they want.
The comp is the Juggernaut.
Except for one key component to the Juggernaut, which is, if you run Juggernaut, you still need one other damage source. Because you need one other damage source.
Yeah, you can't have 4 supports. You need... Or I shouldn't say, you need to have one aggressive character.
And they had 4 supports.
Yeah.
Which, in theory, with Piglet, could probably work. But why? I'm really tired, and you've seen... And just previously, in the previous game, we saw Phoenix legitimately carry. We know Phoenix is good. He broke out of his shell a week before. Don't put Phoenix on a champion he can't potentially carry with. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. So, a mistaken draft comp and better play from Cloud9 resulted in a victory.
Yeah, it was depressing.
It was.
Because Juggernaut's so good, and you have Piglet, and they let you have the comp. But I guess Cloud9 knew how to work against it.
The previous game, where before the playoffs, when Cloud9 played Team Liquid, they banned out Juggernaut against Liquid, and Liquid looked lost, and they got rolled over for it.
Yeah.
In the regular season, and they let them have it.
Yeah.
But then they threw that curveball. They picked up the Corki, one of the few things High really wanted. They valued the Janna or Nunu higher than their mid lane pick, because they would have been picking the Corki for Phoenix, and they didn't. And so,
yeah, I've watched game 3 of these two 3 times, because I'm trying to understand exactly how the Juggernaut didn't work here. I think that's the entire, right on the head. You have to have another damage source.
Yeah.
You had 4 champions that literally can't do damage. Nunu pretends to do damage.
Yep.
Janna does about as much as Nunu.
Yep.
Sion does great in lane, but...
Yep.
And then you have Lulu, who he did go Echo. He had a couple spikes.
Yeah.
It's cool, it's flashy. But it's not going to stop someone from killing the crap out of you.
Yeah, I mean, Lulu, in my opinion, is the best champion in the game for playing any role in the game. She can play every single role, legitimately. Like, you could run her as an ADC if for God's reason you wanted to, and I've done it a few times just for fun, but she can actually do it.
Don't listen to him.
No, I'm just saying as a champion, she can actually do every role.
I don't like that. I know what you're saying. Yeah, she's very versatile.
But she's versatile because, and they nerfed her because she is so versatile. That's why she got so hardcore nerfed back half a year ago.
It's just her kit's so good. It's a nuke. It's a slow. She has a speed up. She has a crowd control. She has a shield. It's also a single target damage, which also helps you with your Q, and an ultimate that gives you health.
Yeah, I mean, like, she
knocks up and slows.
She does everything.
Yeah, she's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
And I don't think Phoenix knows how to play her correctly.
Agreed. Quas is better.
He was like, I play like a mage. No, you don't play like a mage. I'm gonna kill everyone with her. Okay. All right, but he didn't die, so...
No, I mean, yeah, but it just didn't work. So that was Game 3. Game 4, then. What was the problem with Game 4?
Game 4 is, you let High get quirky again.
Yep.
And they got that mid-game crap.
Yep.
And I do not think, again, that Piglet knows how to lose.
Oh, yes. I have a problem with this one.
He seemed a little bit like a bitch in this game. And he didn't... Okay, so you have Urgot, Lulu, Sejuani with Janna again. So you have one damage source, which was the Urgot. But you have to have faith in your team. And it seemed like Piglet was more worried about not dying by his own means than actually putting down damage. I would have loved to see the damage at the end, but I don't think Piglet did shit. Which is the problem when you have 3 champions built around him.
Yeah, I don't like this pick anymore.
You don't like the Kalista?
No. And there's a couple fights, especially the fight where they get in at the end when Balls is overextended. He TP's in and they just all go ham on Balls and Balls doesn't die. But there's one bad jump in there as Kalista where he jumps slightly the wrong direction and it is what gets him killed.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the problem with Kalista. You have to jump perfectly each time in a chaotic team fight. Because if you jump one time the wrong direction, you stand still to then jump back to hopefully the correct direction. But you've delayed an amount of time to being in the correct position. And that one mistake killed him off when he could just... Because he's in the back just throwing and throwing and throwing and throwing. But once you die as the ADC, it's over. And they were behind most of the game anyways, but...
I don't like Meteos on Gragas. But he made it work this time.
Yeah.
But I don't really like it. I don't like it. He
tough.
played 2 champions in this split.
Yeah.
Sejuani and Gragas. I like him on Sejuani. I don't like him on Gragas, but whatever. It's fine.
Yeah. So Game 4 turned into a defeat for Liquid, and then it sent it into Game 5. And at this point, that's not a good thing. The reverse sweep is real. And you're feeling it.
Dad was in the crowd.
Yeah.
High was pumped.
Yeah, Liquid's been here before. It's just all the wrong scenarios. And then on top of that, the level 1 and level 2 shenanigans. And I have to give props to where they are. Meteos's bump.
Yeah, set it up for
flash.
him.
What?
I said set it up for him. What was going on?
So we all know. Lemon Nation likes to pressure.
Lemon Nation loves Nautilus because he likes to be in your face all the time.
So he runs in to go screw with the double jungle. And he does a perfect job of screwing with the double jungle. And then, wait, let's have more people show up, you know? So, like, everybody from Cloud9 starts to show up.
This wasn't the first time he's done this.
No.
He will follow your ass around.
He will. Because if he knows where you are, too, his lanes can relax.
He'll just chill with you in the jungle and start hitting shit and be like, "What's up?" Nah, that's cool.
I'm helping Leash.
It frustrates people, so you're already getting reverse swept.
Yeah.
Then Lemonation's being a gigantic asshole.
Yep.
And then, I'm sorry, continue.
Lemonation put him on tilt. So then everybody starts showing up to this fight. We got Xpecial coming in as the cow saying, "Hey, let's just kill him." And he makes a bold play with a flash and a headbutt, and then all he does is he just flashes away from it. Meanwhile, the way Xpecial came to this fight was through mid lane. So High obviously saw this, and he's like, well, I'll just come hang out too. And then his bot lane, who's going up against nobody at the time, is like, well, I'll come too. So all of a sudden, this 3v1-ish, 2-ish, turns into a 4v3. And this 4v3 ends bad as everyone retreats. And what set up the massive failing part of it for Liquid was Meteos did a body slam and flashed while body slamming, which extends the range of it. And he hit all three of them, knocking them up for that split second, which resulted in a bunch of damage, an instant kill, another kill, a split second behind it. And then the only part about me watching this play that makes me actually feel sick to my stomach is Xpecial's walking away, running to the turret, and he actually stops running. And one auto attack comes in to kill him from Sneaky. And I feel like, seriously, he stopped, he's like, fuck it, we lose. Like, he stops moving, and no one's mentioned this, but he stops walking.
This is why we love best of fives, because you can see teams break down and cry.
Yeah.
Because Liquid was just like Lemon Nation. Like, he could be the worst player in the world, but the mind games he plays on people are just ridiculous. Think about all the times you've encountered jungled while jungling, how mad you get.
Yeah.
And you don't even know the people that are supposed to be helping you. Think about if they're your friends and you're getting swept the other way after being so high, so you're now really low, and someone comes in there and he's just this giant ass scuba diver, and he's just whacking the crap out of you. It's so frustrating, and Liquid just crumbled.
Yeah.
Just crumbled.
And I will say though, regardless, they were way behind because of this, and at that point, game's got to be over. Like, just you're just down. You're just so many reasons. But I will say, in a few areas, I feel like Liquid showed some promise being behind that far. Piglet actually did make a... Yeah, Phoenix didn't give up. Piglet got some kills and actually had a bit of gold and high level on him. And they showed a little promise in a couple fight. They made a couple good rotations to get some picks, but they were still behind, and overall resulted in them losing in a 30-some minute game. So I still give them a little bit of praise for not completely throwing in the towel, and they showed some good rotation afterwards, but after that bad call and that just ending miserably, oh.
I felt so bad for him. It just...
Yeah. I actually turned it off at like partway through, and I was like, I'll watch the rest later. I know how it's gonna go.
It hurts.
It does. I just don't want to see them lose. It's because they're all good guys. I've met most of them, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh,
but so
no.
Cloud9's going to the finals.
Yes, so Cloud9's going to the finals again. So then that brings us up to TSM versus Team Impulse. Now in this series, I think people were surprised a little bit with Impulse's play against Gravity, and was like, maybe Impulse can do this. Rush is playing big. This is happening. Let's see what happens. So, but overwhelmingly, people still thought TSM would win. Game 1 comes along, and Team Impulse runs the table. They legitimately played a good game, and they did a fantastic job doing so.
Mm-hmm.
And
I feel
it's just
like
amazing
TSM,
how they played.
They did really well, but I think TSM does this. They measure up their opponents.
They can't, yeah.
They played well. No one's taking that away from Team Impulse, but I really believe this was a watching game.
Yeah.
And TSM wanted to see what kind of pace they were going to set.
Mm-hmm.
And then game 2 is when TSM decided to put a little bit more pressure on mid lane. Urgot does put pressure on. But I think Bjergsen can play champions that are terrifying mid lane. Xerath, LeBlanc, Diana,
yeah.
Ahri, that really change how things are gonna...
Well, it's Bjergsen. I think he can play anything and be scary.
Yeah, but I think Urgot's one of his least scary champions.
I have one problem, though, with this game. TSM, obviously, they saw what pace Impulse was going to run, and they adjusted to it. Bjergsen went deathless, yada, yada, yada. Good game. Dyrus died without getting a kill and got a lot of assists. Classic Dyrus. But what happened in this game was, and that I didn't like, but I can kind of understand a little bit, but hate it, is, and I'm a believer in this, but Zhao, if you're going to play Karthus, do full ramp Karthus. He didn't do full ramp Karthus. Yes. I know it delays you. I know it is sketch, but it's so powerful.
I think he couldn't because of the Jinx pick. Jinx is able to kill towers in seconds.
It's true, but she also is completely squishy in an ADC who will not pick up any defensive item.
But if they win one fight, Jinx is going to take 1 to 2 towers. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
And Wild Turtle is the best Jinx player.
I know, but ramp build.
I know what you're saying, but I think Zhao Weizhao made the right choice after making the wrong choice.
And I'll say one other thing. I don't want Apollo on Urgot, whatever. And Impact could probably have picked a better champion than Kennen. Kennen's not bad, but
I don't like Nunu and Urgot with the Kennen Karthus.
Yeah.
I think you need another hard engager, maybe even like a J4 to be completely honest with you from the jungle, or Sejuani or something like that. But I don't think Nunu fits any of that. What did Nunu blood boil on that comp?
Yeah, you're not gonna blood boil Urgot. That's not his game.
And if Rush flashes forward one more time and snowballs, I'm gonna drive down to his house and beat the crap out of him. Side note, makes me angry.
So TSM won that game.
Yes, game 2. Went to TSM very commandingly.
Yeah. Game 3 popped up, and I'm gonna Santorin.
He was in their heads, just so much in their heads, and he was so Zhao Weizhao gets Twisted Fate, and he's supposed to be a really scary Twisted Fate. Zhao Weizhao makes great choices. Now, Twisted Fate has to survive past getting destroyed. He's really item dependent.
Oh, super.
LeBlanc likes to shove things in places all game.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a mid laner that can't really escape versus 2 of the best catching champions. Yeah, it's not going to work out for you.
No.
And it didn't work out for him.
And Santorin stepped up against one of the best junglers in the region because Rush is a monster.
Mistake. He played a perfect game, in my opinion, on that one.
Oh yeah, no, 0-0-16.
Well, not even the score, just.
But I mean, that's a perfect. I mean, that's a perfect game though too. Yeah. But he played perfectly to do perfectly.
No time was wasted. Santorin ran that game from start to finish. Everything was mapped out. Everything went his way.
I agree. One other issue too I have, and this is Rush not liking the tanky meta, and that's fine, but he needs to adapt a little bit. Don't get me wrong, Warrior Enchantment, like, yeah, I know it gives you damage, but if you can't turn into anything, like that plus the Sightstone and then the Giant Split you're gonna pick up, dude, just go.
This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. They pick Lee Sin damage to cover for Twisted Fate's lack of damage early game.
Yeah.
Because Nard does a high amount of damage early. Lee Sin with Warriors does as well. They were hoping this would carry them to the mid game, which is where Lee Sin can build tanky and still do a little bit of damage. Nard is still a little bit of damage, and Twisted Fate is just hitting that spike.
Mm-hmm.
Then you hit the late game where Sivir and Twisted Fate take over. I think that was their plan. Santorin and Bjergsen did not allow that at all.
No.
Whatsoever. And we haven't even talked about how well Wild Turtle and Lustboy played. But we're saving that for game 4, in my opinion.
Yeah. So let's do that. So game 3, TSM.
Game 4 started with Lustboy pulling elimination. It's Shyvana and Nunu in the jungle. And Lustboy just ran in there with Nautilus. There is not enough damage that these 2 champions can pull together to kill a Nautilus.
God, no.
They had no answer for it.
I mean, they could all high-five a bunch of times, but...
Lustboy sat in the jungle till like 4 minutes, just preventing them from going to their whole half of a jungle.
Yeah. And Santorin showed up too and was like, I'm taking my camps.
Yeah, it now brings more to the what would Lustboy do? And he stands in the jungle and just stares you down.
Yeah.
And just, it's interesting. So Impact goes the Shyvana with the Smite, which is the new meta thing. If you don't know, it's Smite top lane, you build Cinder Home.
I'll make a video on it next week.
Yeah, please do. It's going to get nerfed soon anyways.
I know, yeah, it'll be for like a week.
But basically these top laners are being able to get skirmishers and kill ADCs. So if you don't want to pick a tanky, you can actually pick a diver, which is Shyvana, Gnar, and do this kind of stuff. The problem is you don't have a summoner in lane, so you're really dependent on being carried so you can buy that item.
Yeah.
So you can use Smite on the enemy champions.
Well, you have a summoner in lane. It's called smiting the big minion. But yeah, no, you can't get away from anything, and you can't fight anything.
So now he's delayed, with Nunu being delayed. till like 3.5, 4 minutes, plus being down a summoner when Santorin and Bjergsen haven't been delayed at all.
Yeah.
So now it is Zhao Zhao versus Bjergsen and on fire Santorin.
Yes, and they punished Impact by killing him over and over and over. But props to Impact, he still outfarmed Dyrus.
Doesn't matter. Dyrus was on Scion, and he was just going to win it regardless. He was just going to sit there and just be in the front.
And classic Dyrus ends up building a Tiamat because he does.
No. Yeah. Okay. So Dyrus is so confident by now. He is sitting back in his chair, probably had his pillow, and he's just like, Tiamat.
Tiamat.
I actually, I don't know how much Tiamat costs. Is it 1,900? He goes back to shop. 1,900.
Yeah, 1,900.
Dyrus, what are you doing? Going top lane.
Going top
Why?
lane. Got my Tiamat. I'm gonna go farm, guys.
Top lane.
That is the only damage item I will build on Scion, by the way.
Don't build damage on Scion.
No, it's the only one I will if for some reason you do that thing where you accidentally have 3 tanks and you need some damage because you have 8 tanks on your team.
It was TSM show that they are the top team in NA, and I have no faith in Cloud. I want Cloud9 to make this a best of 5, but I don't think it is. I think EU is going to be close, but I think that TSM is going to ruffle stomp Mayo, whatever the crap you want to say, Cloud9 to the curb.
So here's the interesting part. In the number 1 seed for the final match, you have, going to the final match, you have TSM and Cloud9. In the summer split of 2014, you had TSM and Cloud9. And then in the spot for third to go to Worlds was LMQ and Team Curse, respectively renamed as
Team Impulse.
Team Impulse and Team Liquid. It's the same 4 organizations in the same 4 slots, and they can all end in the same 4 positions. And I tweeted about this, and I was like, oh, this makes me so, like...
You put the twats down?
I was like, this is sad. Like, this is... Like, don't get me wrong. They were all great games, but now I'm bored, actually.
Now I'm bored. Well, some of these teams have changed a tidbit.
Yeah, like Cloud9's not as good and made it. And TSM is stronger than they even looked previously.
Yeah, okay, so we'll do the third place match. Third place match for NA. I think Impulse is going to win. I think Impulse is more consistent than Liquid.
But both teams got swept, technically. Not like sweep, but like Impulse did lose 3 in a row then.
I don't care.
I'm just saying they're both coming off of losing 3 straight games.
Yeah, but they lost to TSM. You lost to Cloud9.
But this is an organization they weren't beating, and Impulse had already beaten TSM earlier in the year.
Okay, that's like losing a game to Michael Jordan or losing a game to Scottie Pippen. They're both champions, but one is definitely better than the other one.
I agree, but in League it's a little bit different.
No, it's not.
It is.
Okay, Impulse has powerhouses. They have players that can turn on the gas and run people over. I don't think Liquid is going to be able to shut down. If Rush or Zhao Zhao goes off, it's over.
I agree with that, but you know what my one thing is about Liquid is I think they know what those things may or may not be and play smart enough around the potential dynamite by just catching it out that one time early and shutting it off. And then being like, okay, cool, it's just smoldering coals. So I agree. I think Impulse should be able to win this, but don't be surprised if Liquid is like, you know what? We'll play it smart, and we'll find that one early game catch that gives us that little advantage that slows them down, and we'll just slowly press it on. Because Impulse is that full-on team.
I'm going to counter that with this.
Okay.
Is 1 week enough of a cooldown time for Liquid to stop crying?
I think it is because they have... No, here's why I think it is. Because the team doesn't have Voyboy and Cop.
Oh!
So the reason why I say this is Phoenix and Piglet probably disappointed. Phoenix probably disappointed too, but probably not caring. Quas, I think, is probably one of the coolest-headed anybody's in the whole freaking game.
Him and Zion Spartan, in my opinion, are just always going to be positive and good to go.
Exactly. I think the only 2 you have to worry about are Dom, who's, I think, always
he's
propelled. Yeah, and he's always propelled, though, by losing. I think Xpecial is the only one who really probably suffers back and forth. So, and realistically, he's the support, so he doesn't have to carry. You know what I'm saying, though, like hard carry.
How dare you?
You know what I'm saying, though.
I do not know what you're saying.
Okay, fine, then you don't know what I'm saying. But, I mean, he doesn't have to step up and individually... No, I know he has to do it for Piglet, but listen, you're not hearing it right. Jesus Christ.
I know what you're saying.
Jeez. So, Xpecial can just sit in bot lane and let Piglet, you know, be fine.
Gotcha.
So, I think think people stepping up make a special step up most of the time. Because don't get me wrong, back in the day, he was way more of the one being the one to step up, but his role has changed over time, and he doesn't do it as much as he did 2 seasons ago.
Playing Annie and going flash stun is the hardest thing in the game.
I could do that for them if that's really all they need. Hell, they let Saint Vicious do it for a while. And that bear wasn't even in the pit.
Damn!
Bug report.
Remember how he was like, yeah, it was bugged. Like, you suck.
You just missed that bear so bad. Anyway, so I think it'll be a good series. Then we do have TSM and Cloud9, and I think TSM, like you said, should win
3-1.
this. Yeah,
I think it's gonna go TSM, Cloud9, TSM.
I think Cloud9 to have a chance, besides practice on some of the current meta stuff, and High maybe having more than one mid laner. I think they need to have really good pick and ban. Cloud9, really, really good pick and ban. And their pick and ban has been good this season, but they've had a couple games that have been terrible. But the problem, too, with having a good pick and ban is it's still TSM. And all of those players can still play very...
You can't ban out Dirksen.
It's a deep champion pooling. I think the biggest thing you can do is run Dyrus out of champions, but it doesn't matter because they let him die anyways. So it doesn't matter.
Dyrus is the sacrificial lamb. He is the fodder. He is what they throw in the front to slow down the gears so they can win.
Hey guys, I'm getting camped again. Yeah, we know you're getting camped. That's fine. We'll keep it so you're getting camped. Let Turtle and Bjergsen just do some stuff. Santorin's here to help. Like, Lustboy will get a pick. We're fine.
We'll take you out to dinner later. Okay.
Yeah. I've never been a big fan of the TSM franchise organization because of the fanboys typically. But I've become a big fan of players on the team, so I don't mind them winning.
My biggest problem is with Reginald and the way he treated his players. So that's why I did not like TSM when Reginald was there.
But have you heard about how Hotshot's been treating his players? It's a whole different thing. But
alright.
I wash my hands of this.
Now we go to EU. Alright. So third place game, SK Gaming versus H2K. I think
didn't we already do these ones?
No, we skipped it. I'm pretty sure.
You kind of touched on them, but
well, H2K is gonna win.
Yeah.
I think H2K is gonna be SK Gaming. I think SK Gaming doesn't care anymore.
Okay.
I think that was hard for him. And then Unicorns of Love versus Fnatic. This should be exciting. I think Fnatic's gonna win for the same reason that they can just outplay Unicorns of Love. But if they're gonna pull some random crap like Gnar jungle, Shaco jungle, I don't know how much practice Fnatic has had against this kind of crap.
Yeah, I think the other thing
use crap because it's crap.
The other problem I think is funny. If Unicorns of Love win this, dare I say, this makes Europe look even worse.
They're a challenger team.
A challenger team. That's good. That's good.
They're not a challenger team. I'm sorry. They're a rookie team.
Yeah.
Straight out challenger series.
Rookie split. But if they come in on their rookie split and end up getting first, whew, that just doesn't bode well.
Do you know anything about hockey? It's like the Avalanche when they first came into the NHL and they won.
That's true. They did.
Well, they also have Patrick Waugh, and that's cheating.
A little bit.
But yeah, Kikis pulls out some crap and throws it at enemies, and people don't know how to react when someone throws poop at you.
That's true. He
Gnar
keeps them on
jungle.
their toes.
Good. I don't want to break my table because I've been hitting it a lot lately, but it makes me really angry when people pick Shaco.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope. The only other problem is everybody starts thinking they're Kikis.
Well, it's like an insect. I could play Lee Sin like that. You see all these board jumping Lee Sin that are kicking people sideways and crap.
I love the Lee Sins, and this is why I don't play Lee Sin, because I have retarded fingers. But I love the Lee Sins who walk up to the edge of something and stop.
And then
a ward comes down.
Yeah.
And then they go to it.
It's supposed to be a fluid motion.
It's not even.
You see a lot of people do the.
It's like a double thing. It's not even like the ward was a split second behind. The motion after should always follow right away, though. It shouldn't be like the ward goes down.
I feel like they're doing
and then
this.
You safeguard.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh god.
Oh, it's so. Oh, don't do it.
But yeah, the only thing I want to touch on meta, it's just that whole smite top lane.
Yeah.
It has a funky thing in solo queue. If you're gonna try, I've tried it about half a dozen times, and it really hurts being in lane against someone that has a killing summoner. If you're gonna play against someone, let's say Riven gets ignite, you're going to suffer. You're gonna suffer.
You have to play safe the whole time.
Which means you're going to be behind in CS. And if your team doesn't help you and they ward and don't get ganked, you're going to fall further and further behind. You will never hit that point. So be careful on that. So if you're going to play it, say, oh, I really want to play Shyvana top of Smite. And they pick a Scion. You can do it. Because you know he's not going to kill you. If you're not stupid. You can really just avoid Scion. If they pick a Riven, don't do it. She will kill the crap out of you.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my advice to you.
My other advice is if you're going to play Gragas in the jungle, don't build AP. Just get Cinderhulk and stack the shit out of health. Get the Righteous Glory really fast.
Yep.
And just get more health. He gets so beefy he does not die.
It's really hard to kill Gragas.
Yeah.
And then for news, beside Pawns out for 2 months, back problems, there was something else I want to talk about in news. Oh, so TDK is just bringing in Alex Itch as a ringer.
Yeah. Saw that.
How is that allowed?
It just is.
I feel, who are they playing against? Do we know yet?
It's probably somewhere. I think. I don't know.
I feel really bad for the team that has to go against Alex Itch because you're already in a situation where you don't want to be.
Oh god.
And they're bringing in someone that's a really good player. Now, Alex Itch has fallen down from God tier. I would have put him up there with Faker a while ago. 2 years ago. He's fallen. But he's still really fucking good.
Want to hear a fun fact?
Yeah.
Besides, so out of all the playoff games, obviously some teams have played more than others.
Okay.
Team Liquid has the second best
win-loss. Don't say, no way.
Yeah.
Liquid does not have over Cloud9?
Yeah, well, Cloud9's 3-2.
Huh.
And Liquid, because of the CLG matches, are 5-3, and the only team beating them are the Unicorns of Love at 6, and the only ones beating them are Unicorns of Love at 6-3. I'm saying, the teams that had to play more, because Impulse has played a bunch of games, but they're 4-4.
Yeah.
It's just funny to look at it that way.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
If you're watching LPL, stuff like that, it's great. Pay attention. We don't really cover that yet. Maybe one day we'll expand, but these are already long enough as they are.
Yeah,
and no one wants to sit here and listen to our assholes talk.
Yeah. But if you did make it to the end, obviously you know what's up.
You're better, you're cooler, you're better looking. Your clothes totally look awesome, and you're wearing the crap out of them.
You're styling.
Dude, you so hot.
So hot, you styling. You so hot, you overclocked my CPU. Thanks.
Yeah, he already crashed once. We had to redo the video.
Only the first few minutes, luckily.
He's so hot.
Yeah, my CPU was like, I want to be at 9 degrees Celsius, and I was like, no, don't do that.
No.
Whoopsies.
All been there.
We've
Take proper care of your computer, guys. Clean them out. Use air.
Make sure the side panel of your computer's on and the fan on the back is turned up.
Helps with.
It does help with the cooling. But yeah, that's the LCS Weekly.
Woo,
we appreciate you coming out.
I do more than Andrew does. Badger. Sorry.
He's lying, but it's okay.
I like you more.
Anyways, we'll see all of you guys next time.